Top 5 Best MacBook are offered in a wide variety, each with unique features, benefits, and prices. I did a massive amount of research, reviewed a ton of reviews, and put up a list of the top 5 best MacBook from trustworthy brands to assist you in making a decision. After extensive investigation, I discovered these goods to benefit people like you. If you're curious to learn more about the price and other information, be sure to read my description. Without further ado, let's watch the video. Number 1 MacBook Air M1, late 2020. The Apple MacBook Air 13, M1, 2020, is a laptop that features Apple's M1 SoC system on chip. It's very easy to carry around due to its compact size, and its battery easily lasts through a typical 8-hour workday. It has a good keyboard, an excellent touchpad, and a great webcam for video calls. It doesn't get overly hot, and it remains completely silent under load due to its fanless design. It can handle light workloads and even some heavy ones, but it does throttle due to thermal limitations, and its integrated GPU struggles in graphically intensive tasks. Unfortunately, there are only 2 USB-C ports, so you'll likely need to carry adapters. There are 2 models of the Apple MacBook Air. They mainly differ in graphical performance. Our unit has the 7-core GPU M1 SoC, and you can upgrade to a model with 8 cores if you need more GPU processing power. Both variants start with 8 GB of shared memory, which should be enough for most people. However, we recommend that people working with many browser tabs open simultaneously or running memory-intensive applications opt for 16 GB. The storage is also configurable from 256 GB to 2 TB. The Apple MacBook Air is good for media consumption. It has excellent sounding speakers that get very loud and a high-resolution Retina display that produces a sharp and colorful image. The screen gets bright enough to combat glare, and it also gets very dim to provide a more comfortable dark room viewing experience. Its color accuracy is superb out of the box, but blacks look gray in the dark due to its relatively low contrast. Battery life is great for video playback, and the power adapter is easy to carry around should you need to give it a small charge to get through the day. Number 2. MacBook Air M2, 2022. The Apple MacBook Air M2, 2022, is the best laptop your money can buy right now. For the price, it delivers stellar performance, a vibrant display, and superb battery life, all wrapped in a delightfully portable design. The new Apple MacBook Air 2022 M2 is the Swiss knife of ultrabooks, built on an already popular MacBook Air M1 that introduced the world to the mighty power of Apple Silicon. The new Air is truly impressive. Now rocking Apple's second round of own processors, the company has redesigned the notebook, moving from the signature wedge design to a thinner, flatter device than before. If you'll be spending the extra money on the latest MacBook Air M2, that'll get you a new 13.6-inch display with a 1080p camera in a notch, a redesigned keyboard with full-height function keys, the fantastic MagSafe 3 connector, and of course, Apple's latest silicon. It may be a lot of money, but for those who can afford it, you're getting a truly new, powerful machine. As you see from this Apple MacBook Air 2022 M2 review, the new Air punches above its weight with a perfect balance of portability, performance, display quality, and overall premium design. Its over 14 hours of battery life is better than most. In fact, despite a few drawbacks that can easily be ignored, I'd say this is one of the best laptops for the money. The new MacBook Air M2 was tipped for release at Apple's WWDC 2022 Developer Conference. The MacBook Pro 13-inch M2, 2022, was the first laptop with the M2 chip to hit the shelves, but we've had to wait until July before the new MacBook Air to come out, maybe due to Apple's uncertainty about availability of components and materials. The MacBook Air M2 finally went on sale on July 8 for order, with deliveries going live starting July 15. The higher asking price is understandable, though, but it means it feels like a poorer value as compared to the older MacBook Air, which is a good thing, as the best thing about the 2020 MacBook Air M1 was its low price and excellent performance. Number 3. MacBook Pro 13-inch M2, 2022. Apple's MacBook Air M2, 2022, is an all-new entrant to a line of historically well-loved portable computers. This edition brings a Goliath of a processor, an updated design, a beautiful 13.6-inch liquid retina display, and satisfying keystrokes. With an M2 chip powering this featherweight of a laptop, there's little you can't do. Even gaming is an option. Just be sure to opt for the right amount of RAM, or you may run Mac first into some roadblocks. While we've seen the iconic wedge form factor for the lightweight Airs of the past, the 2022 edition introduces a design more akin to that of your standard laptop. That doesn't make it any heavier, though in fact, at 2.7 pounds, 1.24 kilograms, the 2022 M2 is the lightest MacBook Air since early 2015, despite continuous strides in performance. Another iconic, or perhaps infamous, addition to this Mac. The notch. Some hate it, some don't mind it. I fall into the latter of the two groups, but I can definitely see where the former is coming from. The M2 Air doesn't look quite as clean as the MacBooks of the past that feature an uninterrupted display from bezel to bezel, but it's a minor ding on an otherwise outstanding display. Does this matter for work or school? Absolutely not. The M2 Air's display is more than worthy to handle productivity. Media enjoyment and gaming, on the other hand, suffer a blow to enjoyment. If you've never used a screen with a higher refresh rate than 60 Hz, you won't be disappointed in the slightest, coming from a 120 Hz or higher display. Though, you'll likely wonder why Apple decided to stop at the lowest respectable refresh rate available. This is easy enough to do away with using Apple's recommended cleaning techniques. I prefer a quick once-over with a Clorox wipe, but anytime you pick up, put down, type, or browse the web, your fingerprints will be right there with you. However, if you're currently on the hunt for a lightweight laptop, it's hard not to recommend the M2 Air. It's got portability, style, performance, and comfort. Plus, it's the first Mac I've considered gaming on past the first day I tried it. Be sure to look out for the upgrade options when considering a 2022 MacBook Air. For the best results, I'd upgrade to 16 GB of RAM, and think about upping your storage to 1 TB if you're not on a cloud storage plan and will be making it your main laptop. Number 4. MacBook Pro 14-inch 2021. The Apple MacBook Pro 14-inch 2021 is, so far, the best laptop for creative professionals who need all-out powerful performance, class-leading battery life, and the best screen you'll find on a laptop. The 14-inch Apple MacBook Pro is the smaller of the two new MacBook Pros that Apple unveiled in late 2021. And it's a major debut that won't disappoint at all. Both versions are powered by a choice of M1 Pro and M1 Max, Apple's most powerful chips so far, making this hands down the best laptop for creative professionals we've reviewed, combing the best design and power that the folks at Cupertino can muster in a sleek portable shell. In the past, Apple has shoved design over functionality to its users, forcing us to accept previous MacBooks with scanty ports for the sake of staying thin and light. This time around, it looks like Apple has taken the cue from the Asus ZenBooks or Dell XPS 13s of this world. As a result, we now have a 14-inch MacBook Pro MKGP3LLA model, a super compact laptop with an ample selection of ports, offering 3 Thunderbolt ports, 1 HDMI, an SDXC slot, and a MagSafe 3 charging port and immense power inside. By creating the MacBook Pro 14-inch specifically for professionals looking for a true workhorse, and leaving the incredibly thin, light, and svelte design to the more mainstream MacBook Air, Apple has managed to craft a device that's more niche, but far more appealing and successful. If you've gotten tired of tagging along with dongles and hubs for your peripherals and connected devices, you'll certainly appreciate this upgrade. That said, the new MacBook Pro isn't going to be the ideal laptop for most people. Its power offering is more than most people will ever need, and its starting price will likely be too expensive for most as well. Other extras include ProMotion technology that pushes refresh rates up to 120 Hz, which can be adapted depending on the motion of the content on the screen. This not only makes videos look great, but even scrolling through websites gets better. Feels smooth and responsive. Like previous MacBook Pro screens, the 2021 versions support the P3 wide color gamut. Simply a very expensive laptop. The new MacBook Pro 14-inch 2021 is an ambitious project laptop both in terms of hardware and design, and is very niche specific. It's aimed at creative professionals who need kick-ass mobile hardware, and that makes this an expensive laptop. Number 5. MacBook Pro 16-inch 2022. The M2 MacBook Air is the most natural comparison to the M2 MacBook Pro. It's $100 cheaper and has the same new processor, but benefits from a larger display with less bezel. The MacBook Air also features MagSafe charging, which saves you from using up one of the MacBook Pro's 2 USB-C ports when you need to top up your laptop. On top of this, the MacBook Air has a higher resolution webcam and a larger amount of speakers. These are all pretty practical additions. On the other hand, the M2 MacBook Pro offers up a higher number of GPU cores in the default configuration, a fan to help with sustained performance, and a slightly longer battery life. You can however spec the M2 MacBook Air up to the same number of GPU cores as the M2 MacBook Pro. The Touch Bar is still also here, making the M2 MacBook Pro the last Apple laptop to include the divisive feature. This could be a plus for some, but a con for others. Personally, I prefer a row of physical keys, and I'd say it's quite telling that Apple removed the Touch Bar from the rest of its lineup. When compared to the 14-inch MacBook Pro, the M2 model is missing a number of core features. Once again, there's no MagSafe and the bezels are bigger, but you also miss out on an extra USB-C port, a HDMI connector, and South Dakota card reader, and a high refresh rate display. The M2 MacBook Pro is a very good laptop that has the problem of being flanked by more modern laptops in Apple's portfolio. As capable a machine as the M2 MacBook Pro is, it's confused. The battery life and performance are great, but you miss out on quality of life features that are arguably more useful for a machine in this price bracket. If I were buying a MacBook today, I'd either step down or step up. The M2 MacBook Air saves you $100 while offering a more modern design with MagSafe charging and a better webcam. Even if you're taking a slight cut in raw power, I'd still upgrade the Air to a 16GB RAM model, however, and while the 14-inch M1 Pro MacBook Pro is theoretically a bigger step up in price, it does a better job of earning the Pro moniker. The entry-level model is a better baseline, and being less reliant on dongles is always a plus. At the end of the day, I'm not quite sure who the market for the M2 MacBook Pro is. Do you really want a touch bar instead of a function row? It's just a shame that the M2 MacBook Pro is just the M1 model with a better processor, rather than any more meaningful changes. That's all from my end. I make helpful videos daily, so do subscribe to my channel. If you need more information or if you want to know the product price, check out my description. For any kind of problem, please comment below. Stay updated with our cool products as it will make your life much easier.